Hey guys, this is a worded fraction problem worksheet. So this will take approximately 5 minutes. Nice and quick. Done lots of examples ready for you, so it doesn't go on forever. So, 4 friends share a pizza. Alex eats a third, Ben eats 2/5, Cara eats 3/8, and Dana eats a quarter. Who ate the most? Who ate the least? And then list the fractions in order from least to most. So I've done 2 possible ways to solve this. First of all, you can find the lowest common multiple of a number. And to do that, you're going to do the usual multiples of each denominator, which would be 3, 5, 8, and 4. Now, this can go on for quite a while, this one, because the actual lowest common multiple, as you can see, is 120. So what I've done is shown you that if it does seem to go on forever, you could look at choosing the decimals instead. So, for example, I've got 1/3, I know, equals 0.33 reoccurring. I know that 2/5 is 0.40 as a fraction. And 3/8, which is a common fraction to convert without a calculator actually. So you need to know your eighths. So it's 0.375, and we know a quarter is 0.25. Now I'm saying that quickly because if you're approaching these kinds of questions, you would need to know how to solve a lowest common multiple and how to convert fractions into decimals and percentages. If you don't know that, you need to go back at my other videos and take a look first. Get your knowledge good before you move on to these. So, to find using the lowest common multiple, where we've converted all our denominators, we're just going to do what we normally do. We need to work out how many times that number goes into 120. Well, we know that it goes 40 times, and what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So I've multiplied that 40 by 1, giving us 40 over 120. Same again. 5 into 120 goes 24. So that means the top is 48. Same again, it took 15 times for 8 to go into 120. So we multiply the top, which gives us 45. And then finally, we know that it took 30 times for 4 to go into 120. And we're timesing our numerator to 30. So now we've got 2 ways to find the answers. So who ate the most? So if we look here or there, whichever you look at and feel most comfortable, let's see who is the most. 40, 48, 45 and 30. So whoever had 2/5 ate the most because that's the highest number, our highest numerator. So we've now seen that it's Ben. Ben eats the most. Let's look for the second one. Who ate the least? Let's have a look. So let's see who ate the least. It would be a quarter. Who's a quarter? Dana. So Dana ate the least. And then finally, it wants us to order the fractions from least to most. So we know that the least is going to be a quarter. That's Dana. Who's next? 40. That'll be a third. So that was Alex. The next one is going to be 3/8. And then finally, Ben, which was 2/5. So there you have it. So you've answered all the 3 questions. Ben eats the most, Dana eats the least, and then you're going to order the fractions from least to most. Now, if that was too complicated, even if you can manage doing the conversions, whichever way you choose, that's a point. So don't give up on it. Pick out the bits you think you can do, okay? Don't give up. Second question, in a race, 4 runners complete the course. So we got 5/6 of an hour, 7/8, 3/4, 2/3. Who finished the fastest? And a range of times from fastest to slowest. Now this one, it was pretty straightforward because I knew all those denominators go into 24. So it's not as long as that one. So I'm just going to stick with the listing, okay? So the listing style. So we know that all our denominators are going to be 24. So we're going to do 5/6. We have 7/8. We have 3/4. And then finally we have 2/3. And our new denominators. Right. Now remember what I said? You've got to times them out, haven't you? You've got to make how many times is 6 going to 24? Well, we know that 6 goes into 24 4 times, okay? So what we do to the bottom, we do to the top. So our new numerator is going to be 4 times 5 is 20. Same again. That was 3. 3 times 7 is 21. And then finally, times 8. And 2 times 8 is 16. Brilliant. Now, let's answer the questions. Who finished the fastest? Well, there's no names on that, just 4 runners. So let's class that as runner 1, 2, 3, and 4. So who finished the fastest? So let's have a look. Where's the greatest numerator? 7/8, isn't it? So 7/8 was the fastest. Arrange times from fastest to lowest. Which was number 2, as we've labelled it. So, and the final part, fastest to slowest. So now we need to look at the fastest to slowest. So the fastest was 7/8. Now we're going to 5/6. 3/4. And 2/3. So that's answered all the questions. So number 2 was our fastest runner, and fastest to slowest are the times. Next one, I've just used just decimals on this one because this actually was super easy to work out. I knew that it was going to be 30. They all go into 30. So I've done 3/10 equals 30. 1/4 to 5, 2/5 is 40, and 1/3 is 0.33 reoccurring. So, a recipe requires a cup of oil, honey, milk, and water. List the ingredients in order from smallest to largest. So now we know that the smallest is 1/4. The next one is 3/10. The next one is 1/3. And then finally, it's 2/5. That's nice and easy, isn't it? So when you've converted them to decimals or lowest common multiple, whichever way you want to do it, it's just a nice, easy method from there. So let's go over to the next one. I know these seem to be a lot, but you need to learn these. I've done it in decimals again for you guys, and I knew that it was going to be fairly simple to convert these. It's using a fifth, which we know is 0.20. The only one that was a little bit more difficult was 2/7. Yeah, I did use a calculator on that. So you'd have to ask your teacher if these kind of questions can be calculated with a calculator. So arrange the preferences from most popular to least. So most popular. So let's have a look. Which is the biggest number? Well, it's going to be 3/8. So 3/8 is oranges. So oranges is the most popular. So next is going to be 2/7, which is bananas. Next is a quarter, which is grapes, which then makes the least popular apples. And that's it for that one. Once again, you choose, do you want to list it with lowest common multiples or do you want to do decimals? It's entirely up to you, your knowledge. And then finally, it is going to be the length of 4 ribbons. Oh, this is a classic questions. Are 7/9, 5/6, 3/4, and 2/3. Order the ribbons from shortest to longest. So I've done lowest common multiple by listing because I knew 9 times 4 is 36. And I know 6 goes into 36 and I know 3 goes into 36. So it was a pretty straightforward one for me to do. So now I know that, let's change our denominators. So we have 7/9 equals our new denominator, which is 36. Same again. Right, all written out. New denominators. Right, let's do the same. How many times did we need to divide that? It was 4. So 4 times 7 is 28. Here's what we do to the bottom, we do to the top. That was times 6. 6 times 5 is 30. That was 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And then that was 12. 2 times 12 is 24. Nice and easy, that one. So order the ribbons from shortest to longest. So the shortest is going to be 2/3. Of a metre. The next one is going to be 5/30. 5/6, sorry. Actually, no, it's not. I'm wrong. It's 2/3, which is 24. So the next one is 3/4 meters. And then the next one is 7/9. And then finally, it's 5/6 meters to be the longest. So there we have it. Bit long, I know, but you do need to know it. And once you've learned the ins and out, which you prefer, decimal or fraction, you could fast forward this video and just stop at the questions that you need to know. Also, on my website, I do have this video, and next to it is a worksheet, and that worksheet will have the answers and questions, step-by-step methods. So, it is worth a visit. Okay, bye-bye.